Good morning, adventurers. It's Milo from Milo's Wildlife, and today I woke up at 4:30 this morning, far before sunrise. In fact, I think I timed it just perfectly. I'm on Kiawah Island right now, and the sun should come up any second. There's a beautiful group of birds flying overhead though. It's a stunning morning this morning. It's pretty chilly though, I'll be honest. It's about 40 degrees, but I did beat the sun, confirmed. I just got up the hill. It still hasn't made it over the water. So let's go ahead and have a journey for wildlife today and hope to see some strand feeding dolphins right here in South Carolina. Come on, let's go. There was a deer right behind me that whole time. Here, let me go ahead. I'm gonna try to turn this around so you can see a little better. Oh, I spooked him a little bit. Can you see the little tail? They definitely say that Kiawah is probably the wildest island of South Carolina. I'd have to agree. Between the strand feeding dolphins, all the white-tailed deer that live on the island, they have bobcats too that are found truly just on the island. So lots to explore, but let's go ahead and check out the sunrise. .4:30 wake-up call, totally worth it. It is absolutely breathtaking out here. It's freezing cold, but no matter, it is a gorgeous start to a very successful day of hopefully seeing some strand feeding dolphins right here on Kiawah. Fingers crossed, everybody. Let's head down the beach and go see if we can find them in their favorite hunting grounds. So an interesting fact that I have to share with you about strand feeding is it's a learned behavior. It is not an instinctual behavior, which means not all dolphins do it. It has to be taught from mother to her offspring and then passed on through families. In fact, of the about 300 different residential dolphins here in the Charleston Bay area, only a small handful, maybe about a dozen or so, actively strand feed on a regular basis, which is so interesting, especially since they do it so regularly in the same areas. Now, not only is it a learned behavior, it's specialized. Well, what is strand feeding actually? That's a great question. Strand feeding is the act of surging up onto the shore in a predatory behavior, chasing a meal, usually mullet to be honest. And dolphins will work cooperatively, sometimes on their own though, and they will actually kind of corral their prey up onto the shore where they have nowhere else to go. So they're flopping on land to the fish, and the dolphins will strand themselves and catch the fish out of the air and then wriggle their way back into the surf and do it all over again. It's an extremely risky hunting behavior because these are marine mammals, not beach mammals. So they don't want to strand themselves permanently, risking their lives. And it also takes a lot of energy to surge the surf like that and get up on land. But at the end of the day, it's very successful for the skilled individuals that know how to do it and do it every day. But what makes Kiawah, and specifically this area of South Carolina and Georgia, so unique is it doesn't happen in a lot of places around the world. In fact, it's only been observed in about 3 different dolphin species throughout the world of the 50-some dolphin species there are. It's been most notably in bottlenose dolphins, but also orcas and then humpback dolphins as well, which is so interesting because around the globe it's been observed in Australia, Mozambique, Portugal, Mexico, Ecuador, but most regularly right here in the southeastern United States, right on our Atlantic coastline, South Carolina and Georgia mainly. Now, what our extra claim to fame is for the area is we were actually the first ever noted case of strand feeding in dolphins. Researchers first observed it back in the 70s. So it's been decades of the dolphins doing this so regularly and passing it down from generation to generation as a very fascinating hunting behavior. So I made it all the way down to the prime location. The sun is up, starting to warm up the place. But let me go ahead and turn this around so you can see where I'm at right now. So in front of me is the Kiawah River. So this whole riverway makes its way into this inlet that then goes out obviously into the Atlantic Ocean. But if you look really closely, there's actually dolphins feeding in the water right now. They're not strand feeding at this point in time. It's still a little early for perfect prime time low tide. So I'm in the right place. It's a prime location today, and I have the place to myself. There is literally nobody else here today. I'm guessing the cold weather kind of scared some people away today, but here's to seeing some amazing behaviors. All right, everybody. Got my full bag with camera, gear, water bottle, all those good things. I remembered to bring sunscreen too today. And it's a wrap, that's it. It's 6 hours at the beach though, looking for dolphin strand feeding. And today was a success. I was able to see about 5 different dolphins total and saw 3 different instances of strand feeding. So not as busy as other months of the year just based on fish populations, but what was extra interesting today about the strand feeding was the ones that I saw were a max of 2 dolphins working together. In fact, one of the strand feedings was just a solo dolphin working on their own, corralling up the fish and stranding them on their own and actually catching them successfully. So today was a success, not only for the dolphins, because they got plenty of fish, but also for me, because I got plenty of great views, of course, from a respectful distance. My biggest recommendation to those of you interested in seeing strand feeding dolphins is give them space. 45 feet is the recommended distance between the shore and yourself, so that way the dolphins have plenty of room to behave naturally. But I'm gonna include all that sort of information down in the caption below this video, so that way you have all the details to do it right, do it ethically for the animals, and also make a very impactful journey for wildlife. But until next time, I cannot wait to share more about these amazing strand feeding dolphins. I'm telling y'all, I get goosebumps every single time. So definitely be more on these later. But in the meantime, definitely check out other videos with more tips that I have on seeing strand feeding dolphins right here in South Carolina. Until next time, everybody, I can't wait to share a journey for wildlife that all of you can go on with me.